Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and today we'll be getting to my thoughts on the new Mortal Kombat movie. Yes, finally getting to my review on the new Mortal Kombat. The film that all of the Mortal Kombat fans are talking about, all of the movie fans are talking about right now. And I finally get to discuss it. Of course, I talked about the first two Mortal Kombat movies before. Just a little recap. The first movie I really enjoy. It has it has flaws. It's not perfect. It's not a masterpiece or anything. But the first Mortal Kombat movie from '95, that's a really fun film that I really enjoy. Really energetic blast. I love the first Mortal Kombat movie. Annihilation is so bad and so terrible that somehow it finds a way to be entertaining. Like, when you watch that movie, man, you just cannot believe how shitty it is. It has a couple of good things to it, though, like the soundtrack, a couple of the fight scenes. I like the Jax character. Sonya was okay. Katana, but then, Robin Shaw did what he could. I mean, he had nothing to do in that movie but get beat up, so I feel bad for the guy, but he did the best he could. But I would say that, this movie is on the level of the first movie in many ways. And I want to save those thoughts for later in the review, but just to get into it, this is a 2021 film. This is the first 2021 film I've reviewed, so 2021, yay. I don't think I have talked about another film from this year, but I have seen quite a few. Godzilla vs. King Kong, Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Definitely I've seen a couple movies from this year. I want to see that movie, The Little Things. That looks pretty good too. But it gets a 6.29, directed by first-time director. This is like his debut film, Simon McQuoid. And the story, you have the beginning of the movie, which opens up with the origin of Scorpion, which is really awesome because I have been waiting for years to see this adapted into a live-action movie. Never seen Mortal Kombat Legacy, so I don't know if it's done in that. Never seen Scorpion's Revenge, so I don't know if his origins are in those movies, but it was really cool seeing the origin of Scorpion in this film. Because in the original movies, he was just kind of this, lackey to the bad guys. Whereas here, he actually has a backstory. They show the origins, his family being frozen, and there's a person that survives, a young child, and it's years later. He's been killed. I think they said he was in the Netherrealm or something like that. You have an MMA fighter named Cole Young. He's kind of just bouncing from fight to fight, fighting cheap, kind of on the rough side of life, but he's looking up. He's trying to find hope in a situation. He meets a guy named Jax, and all of a sudden the Sub-Zero guy shows up, which of course Sub-Zero is nailed in this movie. This is the original Sub-Zero. This is the first Sub-Zero, so this is the villain Sub-Zero. So Sub-Zero shows up, tries to kill Cole Young. Jax saves them, gets out of there, and you find out that these fighters all across the world have these birthmarks, or these marks of the Mortal Kombat Dragon logo. And it means that you're chosen for a tournament. And basically, Sub-Zero and these other fighters, like you got Cabal, Natara, Melina, Rico's in there, which really surprised the hell out of me. Some people are like, who the fuck is Rico and who the fuck is Natara? They're like some of the most unknown, unpopular Mortal Kombat characters. Like, because I'm a fan, I know guys like Dairu and Hotaru and Shujinko and Cobra and Suhao and Movado. People are like, who the hell are those characters? And I'm like, yeah, like those are some of the more obscure Mortal Kombat characters. But they put Natara and Rico in here. I was actually a pretty big fan of Rico in Mortal Kombat 4, so it was pretty cool seeing him in this movie. Although I had no clue it was Rico, because the design and really the character gets not much to do. I'll just say that. By the way, Spoiler review. This will have spoilers in it, so if you don't want this movie spoiled, do not watch this review. Wait till you watch this movie, then come back to check out the review. But I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen it. It's a popular movie right now. It's being talked about a lot. A lot of controversy with this movie. I mean, it gets 6 out of 10 on IMDb, so 6.2. So obviously it, has a lot of controversy to it. But basically, Cole Young meets up with Sonya. Jax gets... this is spoilers. Spoilers starting now. Okay? Spoilers. Jax ends up getting his arms frozen and basically broken off. Sub-Zero does that to him. And Cole Young goes and meets Sonya, who has Kano there. And they're going to go meet up with a guy named Raiden from the games. They're going to go meet up with Raiden, Liu Kang, and Kung Lao. This, I think it's the Temple of Light. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But they meet at this temple. And that's basically where all the current fighters go to kind of escape the villains of the movie. And the villains go there. Raiden puts up a shield. Kano turns on them. The shield gets broken. Fighting ensues. And this movie is more of a prequel Mortal Kombat movie, which when I first seen it in the theater, I was really thrown off by. And I was definitely like, okay, this is strange. There's no tournament in this movie. There is no Mortal Kombat tournament. But here's why it doesn't bother me anymore. It bothered me at first, I won't lie, that the whole birthmark thing bothered me. Cole Young bothered me. But when I rewatched this movie, because I watched it twice, I watched it once at home and once in the theater. I seen it in the theater first, watched it when I got home a couple days later. And rewatching it again, watching the second time, I really learned to accept the differences. Because to me, even though it was strange seeing these things, to me it all fit the movie. I think the differences are really cool. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of the birthmarks or the dragon marks. But I did. I liked that because it wasn't just a bunch of random people fighting each other. It was for a reason. It was people being chosen to fight. And kind of a reason to get people to fight. And I like how it's not just, oh, I don't like you, I'm going to fight you. Oh, I'll fight you too. It's kind of like a cat and mouse movie where the bad guys are hunting down these people and they got to be forced to fight them. And I liked that. It was different. It was unique. I didn't see it coming. And for a new take on the Mortal Kombat formula of why they're fighting people, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that they made Sub-Zero the main villain of the movie, basically. That was so cool, because in the other movies, Sub-Zero is kind of the side character. And I mean, even in the games, I mean, he's one of the main popular characters, but they've never really made him a main villain or a main character like this. So it was cool seeing this Sub-Zero as the main villain. That was awesome. They gave him a lot of cool scenes, too. I guess before I get into talking a little bit more about that stuff, I want to get into what I liked and what I disliked. As far as things I disliked, just to kind of switch it up a little bit, I will say there's a couple of shots of CGI that maybe look a little wonky. Particularly when Cole is fighting Goro. Also, the design on Goro's face, he has a very ugly face. No offense, Goro. I'm sure you get all the ladies. But in this movie, the design of his... I even don't mind the way he looked in the original Mortal Kombat movie. But here, the way they CGI'd his face kind of reminds me of that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie they did back in 2014 and did a sequel to. The way their faces look in that, I thought was so weird, and they looked... just they looked weird. Like, it was something about the way their faces looked. Same here at the Goro, his face just looked really weird. But there was a couple of dodgy CGI effects there, a couple of other scenes, like when the electric shield gets put up over this temple. It's kind of weird looking CGI. So a few weird looking shots of CGI. Raiden once again has pretty much nothing to do in this movie. And I hated how they made him sort of an asshole. Like, he literally when you play the games, Raiden is the leader of this group of fighters. He cares about Earth. He's protector of Earth. He cares. Even in the original Mortal Kombat movie, Raiden's telling them all their weaknesses, but he's telling them that so they can learn the weaknesses, so they can work on it and get better. Here, he's like, this Cole Young guy, he doesn't have any powers, he's useless. Pretty much banishes Cole Young from the temple. And then, oh, Sonya, you have no mark, so you can't train with us. Sorry. And I'm like, what the hell? They made Raiden kind of an asshole in this movie, so I really didn't like that, I must say. The guy that played him also, like, even though Christopher Lambert is definitely a really interesting choice to play Raiden, like, it's totally random, but I think he brought more to the role. Not saying the actor was bad per se, but this Raiden was just, the way he was written was a lot more bland than the original Raiden in the original movie. So Raiden definitely didn't have a whole lot to do, which is a shame because he's one of my favorite characters in the Mortal Kombat series. You could have had him face Shang Tsung. He didn't have to beat Shang Tsung. You could have had Shang Tsung beat him up, and so that it kind of leads to more tension in the next movie. So I don't know why they didn't give Raiden much to do. He kind of just disappears, towards the middle of the movie. He teleports them to this kind of weird void realm, and then teleports them back, and he's kind of gone for the rest of the movie. So that was definitely weird. As far as other problems, Cole Young kind of bothered me at first, but honestly, I don't mind Cole Young. I don't think he's a bad character. I don't think he's a great character. I think that if they make future Mortal Kombat movies, they can definitely improve the character. But Cole Young, to me, isn't one of those, oh, it's garbage, oh, it's terrible characters. It's just, in the next movie, we can kind of add a little bit more to that character. Flesh him out a little bit, give him more powers, make him a little bit more of a stick-out character. And I think he'll be, pretty solid as the lead. In this movie, though, you can definitely tell they didn't use his full potential because they're going to try and make a franchise out of this. And, that to me is fine. I think it fits Mortal Kombat. But as far as other things, I really can't. Maybe some of the fight scenes having some fast editing. Sometimes it's pretty solid fight scenes, but sometimes there is a lot of quick cuts. But honestly, besides that, I guess I can also say Melina, Natara, Rico, all throwaway characters. And if you're a fan of those characters, you're going to be disappointed. Like, I seen that Rico is in this movie. I'm like, okay, that looks nothing like Rico, but he's in the movie and he just gets killed. So, if you're a fan of Melina, she just is in there and dies from Sonya. But, as far as good things, for the most part, the special effects in this movie look great. They look amazing. The CGI effects, all of the special effects in this movie looked top-notch, even if they were CGI. There was definitely a budget to this movie. There was definitely a lot of money put into it. It looks great. It's shot well. It's edited pretty good. I enjoyed the music. It was pretty cool hearing a techno version of the original Mortal Kombat theme song at the end of the movie. The fight scenes were really solid. Really great choreography, and they were definitely intense. I would say the original Mortal Kombat had like that Reptile versus Liu Kang, and Shang Tsung and Liu Kang, and Johnny Cage versus Scorpion. Those fights are really awesome, but, this movie had great fights too. I enjoyed the fight scenes. For the most part, they treat most of the characters with pretty decent respect. Again, there are throwaway characters, but there's a lot of characters in Mortal Kombat, so you're going to have a few that kind of fall in the cracks, unfortunately. But my only one complaint is that I wish they didn't kill off Kung Lao, because Kung Lao is in a lot of the Mortal Kombat games. And so I'm hoping that one day he can come back into the movies. I'll be honest, I enjoyed Cole Young as the lead, but I do kind of wish Liu Kang was the lead, but I thought Cole Young did pretty good as the lead character. I thought all the actors did a good job playing these characters. The direction of the movie was pretty good. For being an almost 2-hour-long movie, it's a very fast-paced film. And I enjoyed differences in this movie. And I want to kind of get into the discussion of this movie. And because when I went to go see it and I came out of the theater, I was enjoying it. I thought it was great. I thought it was, definitely a little bit of interesting choices in there for the birthmark, for the whole prequel idea, and them killing off Kung Lao, and them making Cole Young the lead character. There was a few things I had to get used to, but overall I walked out of the theaters just in a great mood. I had a fun time in watching this movie. I enjoyed it. And this is definitely one of those movies, though, that you're going to either appreciate and accept and enjoy the differences, or it's not going to be your thing and you're not going to like the movie. I've heard a few fans, and this is cool if this is your thoughts, but I strongly disagree with these people's thoughts, and I will never understand these opinions. Just disagree with them. That's all I'm saying. Some fans are saying that Mortal Kombat Annihilation is better than this movie, and I'm sorry, Mortal Kombat Annihilation is kind of one of those movies where I enjoy it just because of how fucking crazily bad it is. But Annihilation is not better than this. I'm sorry. I disagree with that. I've been hearing a few fans here and there say that. Enough for me to notice it, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I've watched Annihilation a few times. That movie, it's fun because of how bad it is. Why I don't hate it as much as like Dragon Ball Evolution or Creepshow 3 or any of that crap. It's fun. It's like in bad, entertaining time. But it's not even really a complete movie. Like, the special effects weren't even done, allegedly, supposedly, rumored, that the special effects weren't even done in that movie. They weren't even completed. So, for me, whenever I heard that, I was like, holy shit. Like, I just disagree with that. I don't understand that. And I also don't understand why it has to be either you love this movie and you hate the original, call it cheesy, call it stupid, call it corny, or you love the original and you hate this movie. I love both. I'm over here like, I love the original and I love this movie. I think they're both on the same level. I enjoy different aspects about each movie. This one's rated R. This one has kick-ass music. This one, has great special effects. This one has a great cast. I think they both kind of balance out for how good they are. I think they're both great movies, great adaptations of the video game. But I heard about, there's a lot of hate towards the Cole Young character. Again, was he necessary? Not really. It wasn't even really the filmmaker's fault, to be honest. They didn't want Cole Young. They didn't have any plans to have a Cole Young character. It was just the studio said, hey, we love the idea, we're going for it, but we can't just have Liu Kang as the lead or one of the characters from the game as the lead. We need to have a brand new face to introduce these characters in this Mortal Kombat movie. That wasn't even their call. It was the studio's call. So they did the best they could. I'm fine with it. I don't think Cole Young's that bad of a character. Let's see here. What was some of the other things? I was hearing a lot of things about this movie that made me go, holy crap. Just the animosity towards, okay, I either love this movie or you hate this movie. I'm like, I love both, man. I don't know, like, what the big divide is. I love both. This one's definitely very different, but I really enjoy the differences. I enjoy that, they have these powers, and it explains how they have these powers. And the people were saying that was corny and stupid and awful. And I was like, but in the video games they have powers. In the video games, they all have their own powers. And even in the original movies, they had powers. Even in the first Mortal Kombat movie. But the difference is, in that movie, they never explained it. In this movie, they do. Because they never explain how Johnny Cage does a shadow kick and stuff like that in that movie. But I like it in this movie. It explains why they have powers. and they all have their own different unique abilities. I like that. I think that's really unique and different, and a cool way to explain that in the movie. I enjoy the birthmark idea. I enjoy the prequel idea, seeing how it all gets set up. I enjoy the universe theory that there's going to be branch off movies and there's going to be a whole universe of the Mortal Kombat films. To me, it fits Mortal Kombat because there's so many characters and so many places they haven't explored in the games all the way. And even in the games they've explored, they haven't touched in any of the movies. So to me, it really fits because there's so, like, the roster for Mortal Kombat is so big, they could make movies for decades about Mortal Kombat. As long as you have bloody gore, fighting, some cool characters, some good action, some, good direction, I'm on board. It's like, that's what I expect from Mortal Kombat. Fighting, action, characters, cool music, cool direction, and well done fight scenes. As long as you have that, I'm satisfied, and I don't get what all those, and it's cool if that's your problems of the film. I just personally don't get it. I enjoy this movie a lot. I think it's a great attempt at adapting the video game. I think it's a successful attempt at doing it. When Scorpion shows up in the movie at the end of the film to help fight Sub-Zero, that was really cool. When the team works together, and I will say that even though in the original movie the actors had a little bit more chemistry, I like the idea that in this movie they go, okay, we failed before, but here's how we rise up and face the enemy. Teamwork, working together as a team. Whereas in the original movie, you had Liu Kang taking on Shang Tsung, and they were just kind of standing there watching him. Whereas I like how in this movie it's like, alright, you two go fight this person, I'll fight this person, you go fight this person, we'll all meet up here to fight this person. Cool teamwork. They work together as a squad, as a team. I enjoyed that. What else can I say? The actors didn't do a bad job. The guy that played Kane was having a fun time, you could definitely tell. Overall, I would say I'd give this movie definitely a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. Really well done adaptation. Fast-paced, action-packed, fun film. And, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the Mortal Kombat new film. Anyways, guys, if you've seen Mortal Kombat, definitely let me know your guys' thoughts on this film in the comments below. But anyways, that's my thoughts on Mortal Kombat. Thank you so much for watching my reviews on the Mortal Kombat films. Hope you guys enjoyed. Anyways, I'll be seeing you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Explorer 4 is out. Peace.